Welcome back to the channel. A new task to do today at our renovation project that we've got going on, have been since before Christmas. You would have already seen a series of videos with fitting stairs, fitting steels, fitting suspended ceilings. We did put some walls down, took some walls down, put some walls up. They're all on the channel for you to have a look at, and they start from, I think the first video is this one on the screen now. That's the first video that we did at this property. So today we are making up a very uneven and poorly DPM'd floor, which was part of the garage here on there. Now I can never get my finger right there. There we are. Part of the garage before the original owners of the house knocked through into it and didn't really self-level the floor at all. And now we reconfigured the garage again to make a bigger kitchen. We're left with a bit of an uneven surface. So some of the footage you're going to see next is me over the past couple of days trying to sort the floor out, ready for today, which is the first day of putting all the backerboards down and the self-lever to make the floor level ready for me to fit the kitchen. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to Pro Tiler Tools for supplying the backerboards for us. Online store, our tiler uses them all the time. They've got everything you need for any kind of tiling. Your adhesive, your trowels, your buckets, even your vacuums you clip on top of buckets to stop the dust when you're mixing. So why don't you head over to their website and have a look. The link will be in the description, along with all the products we use today, adhesives, etc. I'll put them all in the description for you to have a look at. So enjoy the next bit of footage, just to give a bit of an introduction to what we're faced with, and then I will show you what we're doing now. As you can see from the photo on screen, Pro Tiler Tools have just dropped off all of the materials that we need to start this job on Thursday. Today's Tuesday, and I'm just here prepping the floor because I've got to add a liquid DPM to the floor first, because there's no structural DPM installed, because it's an old house and it's a bit of a mishmash of garage utility from the previous owners. As you can see in a little bit of footage now, there is already a slab that has been partially insulated with Jablite. Looks like about 15 mil. And there is a bit of a structural DPM, but I can't guarantee how good that is. So I will show you the product in a moment that I'm going to do to use to liquid DPM, and it's from Tilemaster, which is a one coat system. And I'm not going to film it because I've got about 25 minutes pot time, and I've got about 11 square meters to do using a little trowel that I'll show you, B2 trowel that they've supplied, to make sure I get the correct thickness of DPM, so therefore it does its job. All of our boards are in. The flexible fast set adhesive at the bottom for these boards, and 15 bags of self-leveler. You can see now that if you haven't seen the video when I put all this up, you will see what I've already done, but if you haven't seen it, this is the video you're looking for now. All I did was, because this is so out of level, you can see there that this board is level. Now, I'm a board's thickness off the floor there, because I've set the boards off the floor. And when I get to here, it's 120 mil difference. This is the partial structural slab that I showed you here, that's Jablited and DPM'd, which is that plastic there, which I've cut off. As you can see, it's not the best quality. Now it is all structurally sound. It's solid. I've got no worries at all with that. But we've got a sloped floor there, which would have been, there was a wall here, which again, if you haven't seen the video, I've taken the wall out. It's on the screen now. And this was the bit of a doorway, a bit of a walkway, and that would have stepped into the garage originally with the doorway, hence they've lifted it up, because if you're not aware, when you've got a garage into a habitable space, i.e. your kitchen in this instance, you've got to have around about 100 mil. So if you have any cars in your garage or motorbikes and there's a petrol leak, they can't get into your house. That's the idea behind that. So as you can see, this has been built up at some point to give us that. But where the utility was, which is the other side of this wall, let me just come back a bit. This is all sloped. And as I say, from here, where I stand now, this point, is 120 mil to there. which is, I'd say, about 5 or 6 metres. If you've already been watching the channel and you've seen this area before, this is where the utility sink has been for a while. I've stripped all that out this morning. I've got the last of this floor up, which is the tiles and vinyl. This is all nice and dry, other than a little bit of water there from when I've took the sink out, so I'm happy with that. Now, the customer has been in over Christmas and he's blackjacked all this wall and then felted it all to give us the bit of a barrier we need from the driveway, which we've talked about in previous episodes. Customer's going to do something with this after. He's going to externally insulate. He's going to run this wall the same method as this across here. And I'd like to think he'll do something with this wall, but I think he's going to external waterproof that now and insulate, because obviously this has been plastered. There we go. The customers can only be led by a builder. So this is the product that I'm using. It's made by Tilemaster, and it's a fast 1 coat DPM. So it's exactly what it says in the tin. And this is a 14 kilogram, and this is the biggest one they do for the area that I require. But it's not cheap stuff at around 240 something pounds. So I've got to add this hardener into this and give it a mix. And this is what I've got to spread it with over all the area. Now, there's 2 different notches on here, but I believe that the B2 one is that one there, 2 mil deep and 3 mil wide, according to Google. And that's what I've just had to do, because I didn't know what size a B2 trail was. I retained some information, but not size of trails. So there we are. So it's that one there I shall use. And from what I gather from the back of the tin, it's ideal for this one where there is no or inadequate DPM, structural DPM, which is exactly what this is. You've got to make sure it's clean and dry. That's exactly what this is. And you apply it with this. So this then gives you the correct amount of coverage and quantity of product on the floor. And then you have to smooth it out with a foam roller, according to that, to then, once it's applied by this, to get the pinholes out. So of course it's fully covered and there's no holes in it, so therefore it does its job. But this is actually Wednesday evening or Wednesday afternoon now. Mick couldn't get here today because he's been stuck on another job. So Matt has kindly come from a job he'd finished half day. And all I've done this morning is, or the other day, sorry, I've got all this black Tilemaster DPM down everywhere. That's done. And then the rep told me to buy a grit primer for non-porous. So I bought this one, which, if you see there, that's exactly what it says it is. It's a primer grip, which has got a grit in it. And it's non-porous. It just takes a lot longer to dry. So we did this first thing this morning. So this is now late afternoon. This is all dry. I didn't do this part because to get to the toilet. So I've left this. So what I'll do tonight is I'll do this ready for myself and Mick to do the tiling or tile backerboards tomorrow. I just wanted to get this area done so we could do the latex, because it had to be under the latex as well. So as you can see, it is. So apologies for not doing it at the start, but there's Matthew. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Richard. You all right?
So yes, he's very kindly stepped in to give me a hand. I said I would have been in the world of poo, trying to do 15 bags on my own. But it's doing good. We've, as I showed you in the video before, or I think I have, 120 mil we got there, and we need to be, at this part, we need to be 50 mil down from here to get the 50 mil tyre backerboard on there and then run the backerboard over. So once that's done, we can then latex in that bit against the board that we put down, then we can move over to here while that latex, blah, blah, blah. But the tiler's got it in hand anyway, all sorted. So we'll carry on. So you can have your half a day back that you've given up for the love. For the love of me, man. For the love of me. It's ace. And then before I go, I'll get that gritted. So as you can see, our pile of bags has gone down dramatically. We managed to get through 10 bags when we did the self-living yesterday. And we've just started moving some of these boards. Mick the tiler is round the corner. I'm not going to put him on film, she doesn't want to be on film, but he's to the other side of that wall now, cutting all the 4mm backerboards ready to put down on this floor here, because it's only 4mm that we need on here to get us to this level, and then we're going to work down from this level with the variety of backerboards that we've got sent to us from Pro Tiler Tools. You've already seen that I've put the Tarmaster DPM down. I've put the self-leveler has already gone down. Mick has then used a little bit of self-leveler first thing this morning just to put in these bit of a uneven little bit there. And then what we can do then is end of play today, we can use the last bit of this DPM we've got and cover that as well, even though I had sort of primed it underneath there anyway, like I have that one there and this bit here. Little bit of time lapse there, me cutting the boards, and then Mickey's just below me here, look. I'm not going to film him from behind because he doesn't want you to see where he parks his bike at night time. So what he's done is he's put a 10mm adhesive trowel up to 3 boards where he meets the lip in the floor, and then he's using a 6mm trowel from that point to flatten this out a little bit. So there we are, and that is started. We're going to come to this point, then we're going to turn the boards the opposite way and work them along here. So our mix all done in here now, and what he has done, which he always likes to do, is on the joints just put some adhesive all over all the joints just to key them all in together. So that's all complete. We just started looking at whether our plan's going to work out now in terms of what size boards we've got now to fill in what holes and what gaps. We're going to put a 50mm across here, then a 40mm across here, and then go to 30mm. So we've, after putting the self-leather in last night, we've put our first 50mm there, which is what we got planned. And there's nothing like blowing your own trumpet, is there? But, you know what I mean? That's good. And that is level as well. So I'm happy with that. And what we'll do now is we'll carry on putting the 50mm, put another one there at the back, and then it starts to rise up again now. So we've got 40s and 30s, and that's what we're going to do. These boards are down. We put the final boards in there, and that's at an angle because this floor tips this way. So we've established now that when we measure off our 50mm or level from there to there is level. When we level across here to that point is level. So we've cut this back now because if we did it square, it was too high there. So that is lovely and level as it is, other than these boards here are slightly lower. So the plan is, before we go tonight, I've foamed under there to stop the run of the self-leveler. Mickey's going to fill that bit now, up to this part, so we get rid of this bit of a lip, to level that tonight. And we have been onto Pro Tiler Tools, and they have unbelievably and very, very kindly agreed to, because it must be in the area tomorrow, they're going to collect the boards that we're not going to use, that they've sent us for nothing, and now supply us with the boards that we need, which is a couple of 10mm, some 6mm and some 20mm board all over here up against this point where these 30mm are going. But we're not going to put that down yet. We're just going to give that another hour or so because it's dinner time now. Going to give that an hour. Then we can pre-grit that or green grit that. And we can put that board down ready for the morning. We're going to green grit all this now as well and green grit all this floor ready for tomorrow, because we're going to be putting, again, coming from Pro Tiler Tools, we're going to be putting the 10mm, 20mm along here, sorry, along this line, all the way over this area. Then a row of 10mm and then a row of 6mm. And then, because this floor, as I said earlier, is tipping up anyway, against we put the 6mm in, so I'll bring me out 1200, so about here. We're pretty level then, all by a little bit of latex. And we can't afford to pick this floor up anymore because of the going into that room and going into the hallway where the staircase is. And obviously we're going to be higher and start messing up tread heights and everything. So that's the plan. Our apologies that this is a bit of a mishmash. It's because, look at the floor, the whole job's a mishmash. Oh, look at our lips there. Oh, cocoa butter lip balm. Oh, very manly. I've got sore lips tonight because it's cold. Bless me. But we are going to continue and plough through. And all I can say to you and can assure you is by the time we have put the rest of the boards down on there and put the self-leveler down, this floor will look absolutely perfect. If I just take you into this part in here, this already looks like, well, like a brand new room already. Let's spin you around and show you. So this is all gone off now, and this is all solid and ready to go. So what we'll do tomorrow, last thing, we'll put a bit of a board across there as a bit of a stopper, and then all this, all the way through, on top of this 4mm, can be self-levelled up to this point. And again, because that is still a bit too tacky, tomorrow what we'll do, last thing, is put a bit of board in there on adhesive and a bit of a stopper, and we're going to put a threshold strip there because now we've gone and diminished the boards down, we've got a bit of a step here, but to eliminate that, we'll put a nice wooden threshold there, and then so we're not picking this up too high, which then starts affecting that doorway. This is all coming out, by the way, and we're moving this doorway up. That's why it looks a bit low. It's all coming out. And then there'll be 20 in there, and it'll then ramp back down to that kitchen. So look all lovely. So bear with us, and I can assure you, when it's done, it'll look awesome. So as I said, the plan now is to get this level, so it's all level here. And then tomorrow we can come along and get our green grit back out. And then green grit all of this. Or your primer. Did you say your primer will do on this now, won't it? Because it will dry on this, won't it? Where that other one is good for non-porous. Yeah, so we'll just use some SBR primer on this now that Mick's already got, the pink stuff he's got. Prime this before we then start putting the 20mm on top of this all the way over, all the floor. To get us all nice and flat. And I think that'll do the job. So we'll get this tidied, get all this green gritted ready, and off we go. See you in the morning. Good morning, we are back at it, and we are getting ready to sort out the pour in the other side of that wall there. So I'll spin you around there and we'll have a look what we've got left to do on this job on this second day. This floor was all green gritted before we left last night, and this is lovely and dry. As we said we were going to, we poured some self-lever in there after we put some green grit on it, and that'll be now primed this morning. All this was done as well, so that'll be primed over there while we're waiting for our other boards to turn up. Mick has been in here first job this morning and started to scrape all the areas where there's a couple of snots of adhesive. There wasn't many, so he's done all of that. And we have been straight on it, taking some deliveries of some white goods in there and a pile of plasterboards and metal for the gyp liner to do all down this wall, which is our next task, which you can see the pile of on the screen now. So our lighting's all ready to go. I've got to fit a piece of timber now across that doorway with a bit of silicone on the bottom to push it down into this tile backer board to stop the latex, like it keeps saying latex, self-leveler to flow and go into the garage, because it doesn't need to go into there. Bought myself a nice new heater. There, let's see if that has any benefit to us in terms of heat. And we'll crack on with it. I think Mick's just come back now, fetching some gear and his breakfast for this morning. So we'll get carried on then. I'll get this timber cut and we'll get ourselves prepared for the pour in here first job while we're waiting for the other boards to come from Pro Tyler Tools. In preparation for the pour then, what we've done is Mick's just put a bead of silicone there, about 3mm high, just so when we do this pour, it doesn't go and drop into there, because we're going to pour that one at a different level when we pour that. So that's the second pour. So he's done that just to stop any flow into there. I may just have to put a bit at the back of there, maybe. Right, to stop the camera then, because I thought if I didn't do it right there and then, I'd forget. So I'll put some on there now. I'll just put a little bit of bead on top of that, because it had sunk a little bit. And then tried and tested method of mix, and all we'll do then is that'll just scrape up out the way, or you just cut the top off in line with this, and then, you know, that's fine. The floor can go over that, no problem. Likewise, what we've done down here is I've used some of this insulation board and put that against the frame, screwed it, and then just put a bead across there. Just move that across there like that. If you remember, all this has already been green gritted, so that's adhesive there. So there's only going to be a 4mm bit of latex in there, which I keep saying latex, a 4mm bead of self-leveler in there now. So that, like I say, it's already green gritted, so from before when I did it the other day. So we'll just pour straight against that now, because that's in the doorway, and you can see the intermissing strip groove there. So that's where the doorway is. So we'll pour straight into that now, so that's all nice and level. And yeah, there we are. We are ready to go. So this is all now complete. As you can see, our little silicone bead there has stopped all the self-leveler flowing into this sort of trough, if you like, to keep that dry, to put a board down when we start mixing the adhesive, to put these boards down. And if you didn't catch it, or didn't quite know what was going on with regard what he was doing, he's used this, I'm going to call it a depth trowel or depth rake. I don't know what it's called, but in the absence of it, I'm just going to call it a depth rake. So all you can do, you can undo these wing nuts, and you can set these spikes here that stick out from this point to whatever you need, I'm presuming, for your depth that you want to put down to make it a nice even coat. Obviously you'll get that in so it sets a depth, and then drag it back any excess with this part of the trowel or the rake, and you can set that to 3, 4, 5, whatever, I'm presuming. If I'm incorrect, I'll ask Mick when he pops back in a minute. But yeah, he's done that, and then when he's happy that he's got it all pulled, you know, so it's a nice even coat, because we want 3mm in there, which is fine over the top of these boards. Then what he uses is this sort of hard plastic spiky roller, and what that does is, from what I understand, it aerates the self-leveler and brings all the bubbles to the top, so you don't end up with loads of pit marks in it, which I've actually seen before, which is a bit odd, and that's probably why if you use this to stop that happening. Well, there we are then. So that's what he was doing. So whilst we're waiting for the boards to turn up now, we have got the delivery of all the plasterboards you've seen earlier on. We're going to get those in, get the metal in and stack them in there out the way. We're going to keep the heat on there because there's a little bit of surface sludge on the top of that, so we're not happy. We want to make sure that's done so we can prime it and then put the boards down. It is literally a very, very surface sludge. It's probably because it's that damp in it, it's not drying properly. Everything else is lovely. You can just sort of see there's a little bit there, look, that we're just trying to dry off, and then that'll be perfect. Get these boards down, get all this laid today, and that's it. Obviously, when we're ready, we'll move all this lot and get all this primed, but we won't do that yet. We'll do it in one go, and that's all good to go as well, same time. So that's it then. I might have a quick coffee, and then hopefully, when everything turns up, we get cracking again. So our order that we requested yesterday is here. 10 bags of self-leveler. We had that one, bought that one from Pro Tyler Tools. And also, well, their boards that they very kindly swapped over. So we got some 20mm there, 12 of those, some 10mm and some 6mm. And that'll finish all this now lower than what our original plan, because everything changed. Anyway, so a massive thank you again to Pro Tiler Tools. In this instance, Jack and Eddie. Jack is one of the accounts team. My apologies, Jack, if you are the accounts manager. My apologies. And Eddie, who I believe is the digital marketing manager as well. And my apologies, that's not the correct title. Put our timber down there so it's level with this reveal and that reveal over there, and make sure that those boards now are square to this one. So we put that up against that edge there, and then Mick has drew a black line on there, so we know that is our first board. That's already cut. And then when we put this one in this way, it's all going to be square to that one, which will then allow us to have a nice clean edge to run our boards this way against it and run into the kitchen that way. Always places to set it out a little bit first, so you don't end up looking a bit rubbish. There we are. Should we crack on then, Mick?
Yes.
I'm not going to do any time lapse anymore now. I think you've had enough time lapse. So we've got this complete. We've trying to keep our sort of levels if there. So we've got, at this point, we've got a bit of a lip here and a bit of a lip there, but that'll just be taken up by self-leveler now. But we can't put any size boards in to suit the depth that we've got now. This is all perfectly bubble. It starts to go up when it gets to this point here. So it just sort of ramps up there, and that's where we try and get away from that height in there. So as you can see, these sort of step down here. That's the only way we're going to get round this. We will put a piece of board in there. Now we've got this adhesive mixed, and we've got loads of offcuts. But there's nowhere really to put myself here now to get a good shot of us doing this. So because all Mick's going to do now, there's some 10mm. So again, he's going to set that down there now. 10mm in here. And then we've got a row of 6mm, and that's us done then. And then we can just lose the self-leveler from here, all into there. All done then. End of the day. All swept up, all nice and quiet now. No noise. All finished. Really happy with that. Really, really happy. From the start of the video, you would have seen the bottom, obviously that was 1/2 inch up there at that end. And we've got 1/2 inch up there now. You can just about see it, if you can see it on camera. We've got a board thickness there. So that has all worked out absolutely perfect. And this is all bubble this way and bubble this way. So when I start fitting the kitchen, it's going to be absolutely bang on. So I'm really pleased about that. Because it's cold, it is still very wet in there. So obviously that'll cure over the weekend, but it was done by 10:30. So it should be gone off by the morning. And then by the time myself and Matthew come in on Monday to start the other side of that wall, which will be the next video, it'll all be nice and dry for us. And then myself and Mick, the tiler, will come in on Monday night, or I'll stop here and he'll come Monday night, and we'll get all this self-leveled, because we want all these to go off properly first. So all the exposed bits of areas there, we'll put a bit of primer on there again, and then pour ourselves into here. There we have it. I'm going to take this opportunity again, since you can see Jacko board written everywhere, to say thank you ever so much for Pro Tiler Tools. You really have helped us out on this one, especially returning the other boards that we knew were going to be too high, and then sending us the ones we have used, which is everything you can see here now, other than a couple of offcuts just there. I think there's one of each of the 6 and 10, and that all the rest of it up that corner is all offcuts now. So really good, really pleased. I'm sure the customer will be loving the fact it's all a lovely level now, and it'll be look lovely now for the kitchen. I'm not going to say lovely anymore, but it is a big bag of lovely. Right then, next footage, bit of self-levelling. So we are back to do the self-levelling on this. Me and Matt have been working in there, another side of this wall. So far this week, it's now Wednesday evening. Mickey's back with us from his very cold putting a roof on, or helping to put a roof on. And we're going to get this done tonight, all ready for next week when we start putting the kitchen in. I'm not going to film anything because it's 5 o'clock already and we need to get done because we all want to go home. I'll just show you the finished product in the morning when I get back, and it's all lovely and clean, and I'm being positive because I want it to dry. Hopefully it's done. Final sweep. We'll get going. And off we go. But next day, Matt's already here and he said it's looking all right. So let's have a look for myself, shall I? Oh, yes.
Morning.
Look how happy he is, look, because he's putting pink on the wall. God, he is happy when he gets pink on the wall. This has dried lovely. The customer, however, probably reason why, came last night for about 2 or 3 hours to paint upstairs, and he put this heater on that he got. He said he just put that back, put it right by the front door, and then just pointed it up in the air to blow hot air into here while he was here for 3 hours. And as a result, this is all looking very, very nice. Little bit of a seepage there between some of the boards, but we did see that. But of course we couldn't remedy it then. We'd already been round and put foam all the way around the corner to stop me losing it down the sides, but we missed that one. There we are. This is going to have some kind of LVT on it, I think. So it stands a chance that when the floor layers come in, they will want to prime and redo this all themselves anyway, so they can get their own warranty on their own floor covering. So that's fine. But this is a very, very good base for them. That's all I can say. This hasn't worked out too bad. There's a little bit of a step there. I'd probably say 15mm maximum at this end. But all it may mean is just a bit of a ramped door bar, depending what goes in here and what goes in here. If they have tiles in there, it may be a bit of a deeper bar. If they have the same flooring, it'll just be a little bit of a tilt bar. That's fine. Threshold bar. Right then, so before I go back in and can carry on with another task, which is going to be in about 3 episodes, I dare say, because we've got a few more bits to come to you yet before we get to where we are now. As always, thank you ever so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and all your comments. Thank you very much to Pro Tiler Tools. Excellent. Thank you ever so much for everything you did for us on this task to allow us to, first of all, pass on the items you sent to us very kindly for nothing. That's passed straight on to the customer. They didn't pay for all the boards we had. And then when we decided to change our plan, you obviously resent out some new ones, which again, we really appreciate. So thank you very much to you personally. But as from me, from Mr. I Builders, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.